Hello and good afternoon, guys. Welcome to MK Convenience Brokerage. My name is Mohammed. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how to fill out the MTA Employment Operation Canvas instruction. For those of you that are applying for the MTA, you will fill out the basic general questionnaire packet, which is you see on the screen. I'm going to explain to you how to properly fill it out, and I'm going to explain to you what you need to do from there on. So let's get started. For those of you that do not want to join and for whatever reason you find something better, you have an option. You could either I am interested in this job or I am not interested in the job. If you are interested in the job, you will complete the section from here to here on the bottom below. If you're not interested in the job, they give you an option over here which you write down your name, your exam number, your list number, and your last 5 digits of the social security number, and you actually reply back to the email that is sent saying that you're not interested. Simple as that. That's the first page. So this obviously, as I say, for office use only, you're not going to touch that. You're going to go on the bottom, the drug screening application page. Now, you will be get drug tested for those of you that are applying for the MTA. The reason for that is you will be driving a bus, you will be driving a train, you will be working something electronic. You cannot be impaired. When you do smoke illegal drugs, that does impair your ability, just as how drinking does when you're driving a vehicle. So they do need to do a drug screening test. So you're gonna write down your name, your date, and your title, your list number, and effective date. If you don't know it, just leave it blank. Your signature, and obviously everything's gonna be sent back to them on a packet. The pre-employment application page, now for the background verification questionnaire, they're going to ask you a lot of questions. So you fill out everything step by step. Your last name, your first name, your title of position, your home address, your current home address where you live, the city and state, zip, your social security number, they are going to ask for that, you're going to give it to them, your telephone number. List other names used. If you use your other name, nicknames, whatever, use them. If not, then leave it blank. List your residency in reverse chronological order, most recent first for the past 10 years. So you put the recent one where you live, obviously. Then you go back from the order for the past 10 years. Now, if you've switched your places multiple times, then just keep it simple. Don't just write everything over there and, like if you can't remember. For example, like if you've been from one address for 5 years, just write down for 5 years because they're only asking for you the month and year. For whatever reason, like let's say for 2 months you don't remember, just put it down like, I'll give you an example. So let's say I lived at ABC residence, right? So I lived there from March 2020. Well, let's say March 20. Obviously, they don't know because of the month and year. And now they don't know what's going on, right? So let's say I lived in ADC residence. The only part I remember was I lived there for whatever reason, I don't remember, so I'm going to put down first 19, and I don't remember what, did I switch another apartment, whatever the case is, just make an estimate, do it from like this. As you can see, January 19 till March 20, and then from March 20 to present. You don't want to put down, for example, March 20. You know what that creates? That creates where were you for 2 months. So you're missing something. If you don't remember, like I said, be honest as possible. I will just put down March 20. So this way, you don't want to keep them in asking like what happened to 2 months, even though like you remember what it is and you think you might have moved early. Just make it simple. Do not give yourself a harder time you already is. It's hard to track where you've been living for the 5 years. Yes, it's sometimes is easy, but for them, if you don't remember, as long as you're telling the truth and this is what's going on, then you could always put it down, just like how I did right now. So that's like a small, showing you a small situation where it could be resolved as long as you could do, what you're doing. Are you in the United States? Are you a United States citizen? Well, yes or no. If no, obviously you're gonna put down your alien registration number. Are you eligible to work in the United States? Yes or no. And obviously you're gonna put down whatever the question is. Employment information. Now this is the fun part that starts. Now obviously if you're the guy like myself that have done 20 different jobs, this is gonna be a very, very hard thing to do. And if you're the guy that has only done 1 or 2 jobs, well, guess what? This is the easiest thing to do. So from month to year, an employer's full name and address and zip code, the title of position, and reason for leaving. Now, as I always try to give people the best advice as possible. I don't care who the person is. If I know you or not, I'm going to try to give you the best advice. If you've been fired from a job, and obviously if it's on a W-2, that's something different. Then they will know automatically, because the W-2 record is going to be, everyone's going to know it because you're on a W-2. But especially when you file taxes, they're going to know what you did and everything. If you're fired, obviously that's different. You're going to write down. But let's say, for example, you worked at a babysitting job for, like, let's say ABC company, and you didn't get paid like regular. What I mean by regular, like, you mean got paid off the books. Sometimes they work on cash. It's up to you to put it in the taxes or not, whatever you worked. So let's say, for example, in this situation, you did work there, and for whatever reason, you didn't put it in your taxes, and no one knows about it. Do you need to let them know? Not really, because no one's gonna know if you tell them to know. If you don't tell them, they're not gonna know. So please be cautious of what you put down. Like, if you put down, I worked for a company and got fired, they're gonna investigate this. They're gonna say, why were you fired from that position? They're gonna ask you, look, listen, if I'm the CEO of a company, I'm gonna ask you, why were you fired? It's common sense. It's human nature. They're gonna ask you that. They're not gonna say, oh well, we got fired because maybe he didn't like the job. Well, no, they're gonna ask you, why'd you get fired? And then now this risks your job when you're applying for the MTA. It's gonna risk you more. It's a city job. They're gonna do more digging. So if something that no one really knows about, you don't need to tell them. And especially if you haven't filed it in your taxes, they don't need to know. Whatever you filed in your taxes, put them over here. Especially once you put on the taxes, they're going to know. Because every time you file taxes, you get a 1099. If you put that in your taxes, then obviously they will know. That's it. Simple. So again, you go from month and day, and you go on all the way down for whatever jobs you had till recent. So keep that in mind. You fill it out, and obviously there's a lot of options. How many hours you worked, how many hours per week you worked, and everything. And obviously the supervisor's telephone number, they will contact them. Employment information, again, your last name, first name, your social security number. Again, it's like continuously on pages. You go into the end, you sign, you title, position, date, you make sure you do all that as well. Military information, for those of you that are veteran, thank you for your service. You will answer these questions. If you are, you're going to say yes. If yes, you can tell them what it is and what was your military occupation. Or if you're dishonorably discharged, yes or no, and then you obviously write that down. Are you claiming United States Armed Forces veteran credit for this position? Yes or no? Again, that's going to be on you. Your education requirement, if you have done education from outside the countries, well, guess what? You're going to put down the name and address, and if you graduated. And what was your major and number of credits? Common sense. If you've done a bachelor's, master's, and you're going to write down simple pedigree information. Professional trade or license information, for those of you that are mechanics or are whatever trade you're in, you could do that as well. List the professional trade license issue number and expiration date over here. And if you were whatever reason you were license suspended or revoked, yes or no, and then obviously if you yes, you can explain why. Applicant statements, you're going to sign, you're going to date over here again, and you're going to go on to the prior employment termination. Now again, for those of you that were fired and everyone knows about you did get fired and you did claim in your taxes that you get fired, you will have to write down and what would be the reason for the termination, dismissed, removal, whatever it is. I mean, like I said, it could be for many reasons. Like, I don't know for anyone's situation to me to make a judgment call why that person was dismissed. It could be family issues, it could be something else, or it could be whatever the reason is. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why a person could get dismissed. Could be for anything. I don't know. Whatever it is, be honest, be truthful, and just write over here. Again, your signature, title, and date. Notification, authorization, release of information. Your name. Authorized release of any records of document that includes but not limited to employment records, personal documents, educational document, the document relating to my termination of employment to this New York City Transit Authority, Manhattan and Bronx Surface Transit Operating Authority, MT Bus Company. So basically, they want to know all the information, whatever employment you worked. Signed and dated, then you authorize them. Again, disclosure of authorization for release of motor vehicle record. They want to see your MVR information. You're driving a bus. They need to know if your license is clean or not. Keep that in mind. So you gotta write down your full name, first name, driving license, license class, issue date, signature, and date. This is something you cannot lie. The driving license is something you cannot lie. You know why? Because if you have points on your license, they will know because you are authorizing them to look for it. If an insurance agent could look at your stuff, they could do the same exact thing. The only difference is if you lie to them in that part, they're gonna find out. Like that, certain things you cannot lie. You cannot lie on your accidents, especially when a cops were involved and they come into the situation and they'll take the report. You cannot lie. And points, especially when you got hit with points and you end up going to court and fighting over it and you're saying that I didn't get anything, they will know. Keep that in mind. These are two things you cannot lie, especially with anything documented. You cannot lie. But what's not documented, that's something that's all bets are off. No one knows about it. Only you and God knows about it. But once you tell a person, then they'll know about it, obviously. But if not, then no one knows about it. Motor vehicle license information. Again, you're going to write down the same exact situation over here. The motorist ID number, the license restriction, indicate number of years you have possessed and everything. You're going to write down all that good stuff over here. If your license was denied, suspended, revoked, yes. If what was the reason? If it's obviously reinstated, your license could be reinstated. These are something, like I said again, and I'm going to say it again, you cannot lie. The license, you cannot lie. So you're going to write down the whatever it is. Again, if you do have a data violation, an offense, and disposition, court allocation, you're going to write down all that stuff. So this is a lot of information you need. Has applicant being involved in an accident during the past 3 years? Again, it says past 3 years. So it's been 10 years ago. They don't need to know. You don't need to tell them. Declared to be completed by applicant. Again, you date and sign. Again, you go on to the next page. Again, you date over here. You print your name over there. Your social security number. I'm retiree from the you could be a person that's retired from the MTA agency and you want to apply for another job. Yeah, you could do that. And I'm not a retiree from the New York City State Agency, which most people will. You sign your candidate signature. Now, obviously, if you are a veteran or if not, whatever it is, then again, you sign this again. You go down. Again, your date, name, social security number, applicant signature, date. During the past 2 years, did you work for any period of time or apply to work for a DOT regulated employer? No. Did you test positive, refuse to DOT employment? Again, no. You're going to go down to the bottom. Again, date over here, social security number, name. Again, use one form for each DOT employer during the previous 2 years application. I would leave this blank since you don't even know what the DOT application is. So you just sign it and date it and basically go to the next page. Again, employer signature, it doesn't really relate to you, so you don't need to fill all this out because you didn't work for them. Again, employee information. Again, you have no employee, so you leave this blank. Technically, you don't, because you're not really working for anyone. You sign it, date it. Let's see. All agency outside activity approval request. Again, this is something you don't need to fill out. So basically, that's about it. So this was the main part of the page of how to fill out the employment application instruction for the MTA. As you can see, it wasn't that hard. It does take time. It is a long application. Don't get me wrong. It does take time. My advice for those people that are filling this application out, take your time. No reason to rush. They give you the email. They tell you a certain amount of days. Get the stuff. MVR for the motor vehicle report is instant. You can go online to the DMV. If you have a DMV account, you can do it. It's called a lifetime abstract license. Abstract report. It tells you from the beginning the day you got your license until then how many accidents, well, not accidents, I apologize, how many points you got, what type of license class you had. If it's suspended or revoked, it tells you everything. Use that for your records to fill out the application driving license part out. Employment record, obviously, I already explained to you. For whatever applied, you put in your W-2s. I'm sorry, I apologize. In your 1040 tax returns, that's where you're just gonna be going to the over here for employment record. Again, if you did something that you made money on the side, you never put on your taxes, you don't need to know. You don't need to tell them. Basically, that's about it. That's how you properly fill this out. But that being said, that's about it. Thank you again, guys, for watching this video. Hopefully, you guys learned from this. Hopefully, it was an entertaining video for me to teach you guys about how to properly fill this out. If I did a poor job, I'm sorry about that. I apologize in advance. But if you guys do have any questions about this or anything else, please comment, like, subscribe. I'll try my best to clarify any confusion you guys have and basically help you guys out to explain. I'm always available. You can always feel free to contact me from the chats, and I'll help you out. Thank you again, guys, for watching this video. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it.